Hello everyone, myself Dr. Prashant Kohli, Assistant Professor in Chemistry. Dear friends, in the previous session, we discussed some of the important topics from the chapter pH meter, and we already discussed two videos based on the chapter pH meter. In the today's lecture, we'll deal with the some of the important content related to this chapter, and this will be the last video based on this chapter pH meter. So let us start the session. We discussed that what is the content of this pH meter in the previous video. Today we will discuss about the pH measurement and its working, then some standard buffers that are generally required to standardize the pH meter, and finally we'll go to the point, that is application of pH meter. So let us start today's session with combination of pH electrode. Friends, we discuss individually the two different types of electrodes, that is a glass electrode and calomel electrode. So particularly it is possible to combine both these electrodes together, and this both electrode when combined together, that will be recognized as combination of pH electrodes. So basically glass electrode and calomel electrode can be constructed together in a single probe, and that will be called as a combination electrode or simply combined electrode. So most of the pH electrodes are available as a combination electrode, that is combination of both these glass electrode and calomel electrode together. So simply they consist of both the glass H plus sensitive electrode and the possessing additional reference electrode placed in one vessel together. The construction of the combination electrode is shown over here in the large part, that will be accounted by number of processes that are actually happen while measuring the pH of solution. Generally, we measure the difference of potential between the sides of glass in glass electrode, and hence we need to close the circuit that is associated with the combination pH electrode. The standard circuit is closed through the internal reference electrode solution and external electrode solution, and lastly by the pH meter circuit. But for the correct and stable measurement of the results, reference electrode should be isolated from the solution such that it will not be cross contaminated with the internal reference electrode. So however, it is very difficult process to connect and isolate two solutions simultaneously, but still uh, we are successful to design the combination pH electrode. The construction is actually made through a small pierce or hole in the electric design of that combination electrode, and that hole is blocked by the kind of some porous membrane through which some solution, uh, that actual solution that is required for the working of the pH meter should be passed. Uh, that is a kind of porous membrane, or it is a ceramic material. The main advantage of utilization of combination electrode is the analysis of small volume sample, and sample analysis can be done in the limited space of electrode. So that is the main advantage. Actually we can do the pH measurement in a very small volume of the sample, and that analysis will be done in a very small space. So that is one of the advantage for the combination electrode, because both these electrodes are combined together, and the pH meter will working with the combination of these two electrodes. Now the combination electrode is generally stored in the buffer solution which is possessing the pH 4 with a small concentration of saturated KCl solution. So the importantly we can say that the combination electrode is can be stored in the buffer solution of that solution which is consisting the pH almost 4, and it is also consisting the small concentration of saturated potassium chloride solution. So that is the condition to require the combination electrode, and the combination electrode construction can be shown as in figure B. So here you can see the diagram. Now that is showing the figure B, which is a combination of pH electrode. So you can see that the glass electrode is working as an internal electrode, and here the reference electrode like calomel electrode uh, element is given, and here is the junction of that reference electrode, and this is a very sensitive glass bulb. With the help of that, we're able to measure the pH of the solution. So these are the several elements or components that are associated with the combination of pH electrodes. So we can see both the electrodes are combined together, and the assembly is making here, that is very short assembly, and with the help of these two electrodes which are combined, and they are making the assembly of combination pH electrode. So it will be very easy and helpful to record the pH of large number of solutions in a very small space, as well as in a very small amount of small volume of the solution. So that is the actually advantage of this combination pH electrode. So here you can see the complete cell for the pH measurement and it's working. So this is the diagram. You can see the typical diagram for the pH measurement. It is a kind of potentiometer. The glass electrode is present to the one side, calomel electrode working as a reference electrode deep into the solution, and this is what actually the pH measurement using the glass electrode. And this is a pH cell construction. You can see that what is the cell construction requirement. So to the internal compartment, the AgAgCl solution along with the 0.1 mole HCl solution, then is associated with the glass electrode, and here is the X. X is the substance whose pH is to be determined, that is represented here as X. Then the saturated KCl solution followed by the HgCl2, and then finally Hg. So this is the what overall working of the pH cell. So AgCl along with the 0.1 mole HCl referring as the internal reference material along with the glass electrode, and here is the X, which is the substance whose pH is to be determined, followed by the saturated KCl solution HgCl2 and Hg. So this is overall working construction for the pH, glass pH electrode. Now how to measure the pH using the glass electrode? So there are some standard operating procedures, we can say, that is what the SOPs that should be followed to measure the pH using the glass electrode. So what are the standard SOPs, or what are the procedure, or what is the procedure that is to be followed while pH measurement using the glass electrode? So initially pH meter is switch on. So this is the first, we have to switch on the pH meter and start the standardization process with the help of some buffer solutions, particularly from acidic, basic and more basic range. For example, acidic range pH is equal to 4, then alkaline or basic range 9.2, and more basic range is nearly 11. So these are the some buffer solutions that are needed for the standardization of the pH meter, that are readily available in the market in the capsule form or in the solution form, or we can also prepare these set of buffer solutions. So in the next session, we are going to discuss that how to prepare the buffer solution. The temperature control setup will be there provided with the pH meter. So with the help of knob available on the instrument for the testing the solution at required temperature. So if there is a condition for the solution whose pH is to be determined at particular temperature, then we can on the control temperature controller setup present over the pH meter. Then we can take the standardization procedure for initially pH is equal to 4 in a beaker. Take the solution which is consisting a buffer solution with the pH 4 in a beaker. Then slightly insert the electrode into the solution and switch on the instrument for reading the pH. And the pH meter will ultimately show the pH of that particular buffer solution, and we will record the pH of that solution. Now, after measuring the pH of that buffer solution, which pH 4, remove the electrode assembly, wash it with the distilled water, place the electrode in small beaker containing another buffer solution, and that buffer solution has a pH of 9.2. If meter not agrees with the pH of taken buffer solution, then adjust the slope control. So this is the important point here, because initially we have measured the pH of 4, and now we have inserted the electrode into the solution, buffer solution, which has a pH of 9.2 nearly. So it is possible that the pH meter is not showing the exact reading of 9.2. So in that condition, we have to adjust the slope control till the correct reading of 9.2 is obtained. So here is a role of slope control is important. Switch on the button of that slope control, then it will keep constant until the pH 9.2 is obtained. Then remove the electrode assembly, wash it with the distilled water, and place the electrode again in buffer solution of pH 4. So why we are keeping, why we are doing the procedure here, or why we are repeating the procedure here? Because we have to see that whether the pH electrode is working properly or not. After measuring the pH of 9.2, so it should be deep into the pH solution containing the pH 4. So it will be assured that the pH meter is showing the correct reading for the pH 4. Now after calibration, remove the electrode assembly and rinse it with the distilled water and place the electrode in the test solution and record the pH of the test solution. So initially we have carried out the standardization procedure with the help of buffer solution of 4 and 9.2. Then it is time to take the solution, take the pH of the solution which is under examination. So we will simply dip the electrode into that solution whose pH is to be determined, and will record the pH. Finally, after pH measurement of the test solution, rinse the electrode, that combination electrode, and keep the pH electrode, pH glass electrode, rinse it and keep the electrode soak in the distilled water. So this is what the particular procedure to be followed while measuring the pH of particular solution. Now there are some standard buffer solutions you have to prepare that are required as a reference material for the pH measurement. So before pH measurement of the particular instrument with the help of particular instrument, that particular instrument is generally calibrated with the buffer solution. Now this buffer solution, we have already discussed that 3 or 4 types of the buffer solutions are needed to calibrate the pH meter ranging from pH 4, 9.2 and 11. The buffer materials are readily available in the form of capsule, or either they can be prepared whenever required for the desired pH. So it is possible to take the pH buffer capsule directly from the market, or it is also possible to prepare the buffer of particular solution to the required pH. Now the standard buffer solutions can be prepared by weak acid with its conjugate base, or with weak base with a conjugate acid. So this is a simultaneous process. Either we can prepare the buffer solution with weak acid and its a conjugate base, or weak base with the conjugate acid. For example, acetate buffer, phosphate buffer, etc. These are the most common buffers used in the laboratory. So these are the some standard readings that can be followed to prepare the particular type of buffer solution. For example, here is acetic acid sodium acetate buffer. So acetic acid 0.2 molar required for this buffer solution preparation, and sodium acetate 0.2 molar. So if we prepare the acetic acid with the 0.2 molar solution and sodium acetate with 0.2 molar, then it is possible to prepare the acetic acid and sodium acetate buffer. So these are the various volumes of the acetic acid in ml, and sodium acetate solution volume in ml is given. When you combine the two different volumes of these two solutions, that is acetic acid and sodium acetate, then it is possible to get the pH at nearly 25 degrees Celsius. So this is the pH value that is resulted with the combination of these two solutions, that is sodium acetate and acetic acid. For example, when acetic acid is taken 98 ml and it is mixed with the 2 ml of sodium acetate, the overall volume is 100 ml. You will get the 2.8 pH of this solution. So simultaneously, these are the readings. You can take these particular readings for your reference. So these are the various combination of the acetic acid and sodium acetate to get the desired pH buffer solution. So this is very standard. We can follow in the laboratory. Then another buffer solution, for example, borax and boric acid buffer. So here is the requirement. You can see 0.05 molar of borax and boric acid with the 0.2 mole. And the requirement for the borax is actually the given here, and the volume of boric acid in CMP is also given. When you combine these two solutions, the particular molarity 0.05 and zero point 0.2 molar, then it is possible to get the different pH with the combination of different volume of these two solution at 25 degrees Celsius. So these are the different volume of these two solution, and we are getting here the different pH. So you can observe that with the decreasing volume of borax and boric acid, with the decreasing volume of borax and increasing volume of boric acid, the pH is also getting increased. So this is a one kind of trend we can see by adding these two solutions together. Then another buffers are also there. You can see the phosphate buffer is can be prepared from the sodium hydrogen phosphate and sodium hydrogen phosphate in the particular ratio, and you get the pH of different scale, that is a 6.7, then 7.41 at 25 degrees Celsius. These are the some standard buffer solutions that can be prepared with a combination of different types of the solids or solutions. So potassium hydrogen tartarate buffer, which has a pH of 3.56. Then sodium hydrogen phosphate buffer, which has a pH of 4.1, and potassium tetraoxalate buffer, which has a pH of 1.68, which is very acidic. So these all are the different combination of the different solutions to get the desired pH buffer solutions. And finally, we'll go to the we'll go to see the application of pH meter. So there are some applications that can be seen with the help of pH meter. Actually, the pH meter is very important unit, so that is required for a large number of solutions. pH meter is applied to measure the pH of blood sample, then urine, gastric acid, laboratory samples, chemicals, various acids, and base solutions. It is applicable to determine the concentration of substances by measuring the pH. Most importantly, to get pH of various acidic and basic buffer solutions. So it is possible to measure the pH of acids and basic buffers with the help of pH meter. So that is very accurate to get exact pH of various chemical reactions. So we perform different types of the chemical reaction, and during the chemical reaction performing, it is very necessary to adjust the pH of various substances to get the desired results. Now to measure the pH of soil to get the maximum yield of crops by deciding the pH of soil and culture the specific crops according to the pH of the soil. So that is also very important application in the agricultural field. We can measure the pH of soil, and according to that we can plan to cultivate the different types of crops. Then rainwater pH measurements, pH meter can also be useful for number of pharmaceutical manufacturing, chemical industries, food processing industries, fermentation processes, pulp and paper industries, biotechnological processes, neutralization processes. So the list of the application of pH meter is very vast. Everywhere there is a requirement of pH meter as far as the solutions are concerned. So these are the very good application of the pH meter. Then I would like to say thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have any doubts, then you can give the comment related to any doubts related to this video. So thank you very much for watching the video.